Thank you guys so much. I was going to start with some Ray Rice jokes tonight, but I thought the punchlines were a little inappropriate. So, I'm going to apologize right now, too. I was up pretty late last night in the ungodly hours of the night, which is kind of a weird term, the ungodly hours, as if you can't worship God until he's had his coffee or something. Like, the best part of waking up is Folgers in his cup. He wakes up in the morning, pulls out his iPhone. He has 7,000, a little red number by his prayer app. He's like, oh, shit. Hey, Zeus, go to Starbucks. Can't start. Also, before I get into more material, I should say I'm kind of worried that I have multiple personality disorder, and me too, and so do I. But I don't think it's much of a problem. It's a big week for me, though. It's a big week. I turned 22 on Tuesday. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a meaningless age, but thank you. I get mad, though, when you ask people how old they are, and they tell you what they're going to be. Like, oh, how old are you? Well, I turned 25 in November. Or take it a step further and say, how old are you? Well, I turned 40 in 2032. Making me do math. That's like asking somebody what the weather's like outside and then saying, well, it's going to be 30 degrees in January. Oh, okay, I'll grab my parka because it's September. And that makes perfect sense. And it's Wisconsin. Yeah, it's Wisconsin, so it actually does make sense, right? But yeah, getting older, I mean, the thing I hate most about getting older is the innocence you lose. Like, you remember when you found out Santa Claus wasn't real? That was the worst. I was kicking and screaming. Oh, I broke the news to somebody again. But I was kicking and screaming and throwing shit, and then finally my friends were like, Joe, calm down. You have to get to Comedy Cafe. You have 5 minutes to do it. And I was like, all right. I'll tell my Ray Rice jokes. My friends are great like that. Both of them are. Another thing about like losing that innocence is when you were younger and you were in school, like you were in kindergarten, you could just throw up and it'd be normal because what little kids do, they just throw up. And now you do it and everyone's like, oh, he's drunk, and then the police escort you out of the kindergarten. What changed in that time frame? Yeah, I'm getting older. Before I know it, I'll probably be taking Cialis or something. Calling my doctor after 4 hours. That 4-hour time limit seems pretty arbitrary, though, I think. Because you'd think just after 1 hour, you'd be like, what the fuck? In that 4-hour time frame for a normal boner, you could watch an entire baseball game with instant replay, the pregame and the postgame, and still call your doctor at like 3 hours and 45 minutes and never be like, what? Call back later. That's completely normal. Speaking of penises, or peni, I don't know what the plural is, transitions, I hate pornography. I hate it. And I think the reason is because the stories aren't very realistic. I would love for somebody to make a website where the porn videos have the best plots. Like, it sets up like a normal porno. You know, plumber comes over to fix a girl's sink or something, and then he does it, and the girl's like, oh, I can't pay, and he's like, fuck, we should have talked about this before I offered my life. Damn it. This society runs on a currency. You can't pay my bills and hand jobs. The IRS cannot write that off. The whole video is 45 minutes with no sex involved at all. It ends in a sexual harassment lawsuit. The girl has to take out a loan to pay for college. She drops out. She's on the streets. She has to resort to real porn after that. That's what I'm waiting for. And it's a shame because she's turning 22 in November, 23 next year, too. She turned 7 in 1999. All right, thank you guys so much. Goodbye.
Joe Kaiser making me run up here. Woo! Give him another hand.